Alright, next up on 2025 deck reviews, we have Nekusar, the Mind Razor. Alright, so what does this son of a bitch do? He's 2, black, blue, red, 2/4, zombie wizard. Beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar, the Mind Razor, pokes him for 1 point of damage. Beak, beak! So, Grixis. There seems to be pretty much 2 ways to build Nekusar. One, you have a bunch of Kami the Crescent Moon, Howling Mine sort of effects. Just sit there and pass it. Everybody gets to draw cards. The problem with that is your opponents are going to figure out pretty damn quickly that all they have to do is keep Nekusar out the field and they won't take damage, but you're letting them draw free cards. That's the mistake I made when I first built Nekusar. In some groups that will work. In my group, it doesn't work. They just fucking kill Nekusar. Bastards. So, how did I build mine? I built mine a little bit different. So, I need to keep Nekusar on the field, or I need to be able to recast him without having to spend 2, and then 4, and then 6, and then 8 for casting him again because of the commander tax. I mean, 8+5, that's 13 mana. That's a lot. That's getting into Karavik territory. And I don't want Nekusar getting into Karavik territory. So I've got this as one of the things to protect him. So it taps for colorless or for 1 blue, return target wizard to its owner's hand that I control. So I can bounce Nekusar in response to something trying to kill him. Land, Silver Falls. I'm just going to kind of skip. I don't know if I want to keep using these lands. I don't know if I want to put in something a bit more cheerful, just to, make up for the fact that Nekusar himself, he's pretty dark and evil looking, pretty grim. Oh, and the Judge Foil version. So previously, when I first rebuilt the deck, when I built this iteration you're seeing now, I had some fucking special printing, I don't know. But it looked pixelated. There was like grainy artifact in the image and on the card. And I thought, this sucks. I hate looking at cards and they look like shit. There are some cards I won't play because I just don't like the way they look. That's why I've got Inigo Montoya instead of Samut in Voya. So anyway, I've got the Judge Foil Nekusar because it's pretty, looks good. It's back when Wizards was still printing the cards to some acceptable level of quality. But this swamp, I mean, it fits him. I can see Nekusar hanging out there and fucking with people. So maybe I should just keep it Dragon Skull Summit. I'm just going to kind of go through the land real quickly. Echo of Eons, 4 blue. Everybody shuffles their hand, graveyard, library together and draws 7 cards. And I can flash it back. So the idea with this is there's a bunch of these effects. I think I've got them all. Gotta collect them all. And I think I did. If I'm wrong, let me know, because I would like to find more. So, Echo of Eons. Nekusar's in play. If Nekusar is not in play, unless I really need cards, I'm not going to do it. See, that's the whole thing about the choice. So if he's in play, then I'll cast Echo of Eons, and maybe, if I have 3 mana left over, I'll flash it back just for fun. But when I cast it, everybody shuffles the hand in graveyard together, draws 7 cards. My opponents each take 7 points of damage. As you see things right here. Of course, I have ways to pump that. It's fucking hilarious. So there's the Echo of Eons right there. Here's Wheel of Fortune right there. Here's Time Spiral right there. Time Spiral is basically Echo of Eons without flashback. You just fucking exile it. But you get to untap up to 6 lands. So the idea is that, let's say I cast Echo of Eons. And then I cast Wheel of Fortune, and then I Time Spiral. This gets exiled, everything else gets shuffled back in. But to recur the effect, to repeat the effect, to keep doing it, keep on giving. And then the windfall is right. All my fucking draw a lot of cards are, there's the memory jar. They're all at the bottom of the goddamn library. How did that happen? Son of a bitch. Anyway, Silent Arbiter. This Silent Arbiter is an altar. A friend of mine had it. He tried to alter it. He fucked it up real bad. So my friend Ren, he fixed it. He made it look far less bad because Ren knows what he's doing because he's been doing it for a long time and he's got some talent. So Nekusar, I don't want to get into the red zone. I don't want to deal with creatures attacking me because I'm not really going to be attacking anybody else. I mean, I might make some opportunistic attacks, but it is definitely not anywhere near the primary game plan. No, 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 no. So I've got shit like this. 4 for a 1/5 artifact creature. No more than one creature may attack each combat. No more than one creature may block each combat. So slow shit down. If somebody has a wide token army of like 10 trampling squirrels of death, pick one. And whichever one you pick, I'll tap the Maze of Ith to send it home, so fuck off. Windfall. 2 and a blue, sorcery. Everybody throws away their hand, then draws a card equal to the greatest number of cards the player threw away this way. Heuristic study. Why not? I mean, he's a wizard. He needs a study. It kind of fits. 2 and a blue, enchantment. Whenever the opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. Well, yeah, I'm going to draw the goddamn cards. Thank you very much. Memory jar. Sacrifice memory jar. Everybody exiles all cards from their hand right now, sets it off to the side, and draws 7 cards. And if Nekusar's out, which I'm not going to break the jar unless Nekusar's out, or something like him, unless I really need cards. So that's the idea of the deck, is I only trigger these effects when he's in play or something else to hurt people. Yes, you're going to get cards, but I'm going to hurt you for it, you bastards. They draw 7 cards. Beginning of the next end step, everybody discards the cards they drew when I broke the jar and picks up the hand that they exiled before. So the idea is I would use this on my turn when all my mana is untapped, and then my opponents are basically milling the top 7 cards of the library and taking 7 points of damage for the pleasure. Swamp. Dissipate. I just like the art. I love Richard King Ferguson's art. He needs counter spells, and yeah, there are some better options, but this works. 1 blue, counter spell, and it gets exiled. Undying Evil. So, Nekusar is going to get killed. I know that. I know people are going to try to kill him for some reason. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. So I've got to save him. So I've got, at one point I had 7 of these Undying Evil effects, and then I ran into cards that were better for the deck, more interesting. And I thought, how many of these do I really need? Because if the deck is struggling, if I'm in a bad position, I'm just screwed anyway. But the deck is even working close to what it can, then I should be refilling my hand pretty regular. I mean, him alone, I'm getting 2 cards a turn. So I figure 5 of these Undying Evil type effects should be enough. Because I've got some, I've got Riptide Laboratory, I've got some other things to help. So all these effects, they're all 1 black instance, and basically target creature doesn't die when it comes back from the dead. So 1 black, instantly bring a creature back from the dead if it would die. So I'm not going to go into the this one gives it Undying, it's called Undying Evil, but it really doesn't matter the secondary effect. The primary one is all I'm worried about. Drowned Catacomb. This is a new addition. This is why I took out one of those Undying Evil effects. Jin Gataxius, Rectal Augur. So 8 blue, 10 mana to flash this son of a bitch into play. But at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards. Each opponent's hand size, maximum hand size is reduced by 7. To be honest, I'm not really sure if he's going to be that cool in Nekusar, because he makes his home opponents have less cards. It does take away their ability to screw with me. So if their maximum hand size is reduced by 7, unless they've already played a Reliquary Tower or something else, then okay, so be it. But if they can only have 0 cards in their hand at the end of the turn, Nekusar is having them draw additional cards. So during the turn, they would draw 2 cards. At the end of the turn, they have to go down to whatever their maximum hand size is, -7. If they've got Reliquary Tower, that's infinity -7, so they can keep whatever the fuck they've got. But if they don't, then they either play the cards or lose them. And if they've drawn extra cards, so much better. Blood Crypt. Volrath Stronghold. Okay, so if he dies, and I don't have an Undying Evil effect, I don't have Laboratory, at least I can put him back on top of my library and just recast him for his casting cost, not his casting cost plus commander tax. That's really what this is here for. Layers of protection, baby. Memory Lapse. Contract spell. Put that spell on top of owner's library. The reason this is here is because of the one colorless. I've had plenty of times where I'm kind of struggling for colors. So I need a few counter spells that don't have too much blue. I mean, Dissipate, that's 2 blue. This is only 1 blue in the colors, but it puts the spell back on top of the library. Unlike Remand, which puts it back in their hand, so if they have the mana, they can cast it again. This is nope. And if I crack a jar, for example, then unless it was an instant, whatever card that got put back on top of the library is going in their graveyard. Etherize. I don't want to be attacked. But if you do attack me, I'm going to punish you. Turn all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. Let's set that to the side and I'll show you something. Island. It's a little bit sunny for Nekusar, but I can imagine that being his tower. His seaside resort. His home away from homey. Urtai the Resurrected. He displaced one of the other 7 Undying Evil effects I used to have. Because he's flashy. He only costs 2, 1 blue, 1 black, so the color requirements aren't that bad. He's a 3/2. He can chump block somebody. And when he comes into play, I can counterspell, active ability, triggered ability. Its controller draws a card. Nekusar's is out. They can take a point of damage for the pleasure. Or I can destroy another target creature or Planeswalker, and its controller draws a card. So he's kind of in here to help protect my graveyard. I like protecting my graveyard. Swamp. Narset's Reversal. Not really sure if I should keep this in here. I'm not really sure if anything is better, but I do like the idea of copying something. Offhand. So, what's something good to copy? Swords to Plowshares would be good, but it goes back their hand, so they can do it again. I wouldn't like that unless they use it on somebody else's creature. Any kind of draw. I mean, if somebody casts Windfall, I can copy it and then put the Windfall back in their hand. So this goes off, and then I've got the Windfall again. I don't know. I have it in here because I haven't played with it much before and I want to see how it works. Urborg, Tomb Yawgmoth, Everything is Swamp. Underground River. It's an underground sea with no land types that hurts me. Namos Glow. People ask me, what the hell do you have this in here for? Do you have anything you want to untap? No, not really. But let's think about that. Let's see what's good to untap. Alabar's Carpet. It's not legendary. 5 tap. That's a lot of mana. Prevents all damage done to you by attacking non-flying creatures. This has saved my ass, though. Somebody was talking about what a bad card this is, how it's a waste of mana. There's a game where my opponents couldn't get rid of it because I was able to counter all of their attempts to do so. Because they weren't making that many attempts. Whenever they did, I saved a counterspell for it. And saved me from the armies on the ground. Nekusar just flew out of the reach. Venser, Shepherd Civil. 2 blue for a 2/2 human wizard. He's flashy. Comes into play, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Stop something, crumbling necropolis. Look at that body hanging from that spire, that half-rotten. I mean, that's a pretty fucking horrific image, but as a foil, it's strangely compelling to look at. It's not pretty, but it's like a Goya painting. You want to look at it. You can't really pull your eyes away from it. There's just so much going on there. Guild Lotus. 5. Maybe Nekusar should get a Skyclave Relic. My video yesterday I talked about the Skyclave Relic I gave to Karavek that displays for Chromatic Lantern. I still have another one. I bought 2 because they were cheap. I also bought all the Glittering Stockpile. Maybe Glittering Stockpile would be better. I don't know. Anyway, I know that works. So, and I'll have to think about if I take it out for anything. Okay, another Mana Rock. Maze of Ith. I pulled this out of a pack, and I was kind of disappointed. Like, man, can I get something worth some money out of these fucking packs? God damn. But it has a home. The pack did not give me anything of any financial value, but it gave me something I needed for a deck. When life hands you lemons, make lemonade, right? Winds of Change. I love this art. I love this version. I hate the Justin Hampton version. I do not like his art at all. There's a couple of the cards that are okay, but in general, I don't like his fucking cartoony art because it's not self-parody cartoony like Phil Foglio does. It's just Justin Hampton. It's bullshit cartoony. But this by Adam Rex, oh, it's just gorgeous. So everybody counts the number of cards in their hand, shuffles those cards into their deck, and then draws that many cards. Kind of like a Windfall for 1 mana. Well, Windfall is discard. This is shuffle and then draw. But it's still draw. Still triggers Nekusar, Command Tower. Evacuation. How many creatures are you attacking me with? I can't activate my Alabar's Carpet on your turn because I activated it on his turn. And I don't have a silent, so bounce all the creatures back to everybody's hand. Suck it. Mountain. Yeah, I chose this mountain. It doesn't quite, I mean, this is Ice Age. The other 2 are from Onslaught. But, yeah, it kind of fits Nekusar, I guess. Academy Ruins. I could put an artifact card in my graveyard and try my library so I can get back the jar. Island. Jora, she's a new addition. Nekusar has a lot of rocks, a lot of mana rocks. I think he's got 19 artifacts. I think she's going to work out nicely. I've not had her in play yet. I've only played 1 or 2 games with Nekusar since introducing her to the deck. But blue-red, 2/3 human artificer. Tap, put 2 ingenuity counters on Jora. Then I might put an artifact with mana value X or less from my hand onto the battlefield, where X is the number of counters on her. And I can do this at instant speed, providing she is ready to go and doesn't have summon sickness. So the first time, I can drop a Signet. The second time, I can drop Silent Arbiter. Does he cost 5 or 4? I forget. Because that would be pretty funny. I think he costs 5. No! So the second time, let's say I get a Mana Rock, and then I take my turn, and she untaps. Nobody's killed her, amazingly enough. Somebody's going to attack me. They announce their combat. They say, okay, I attack you. No, back up. Are you going to combat? Yes, I'm going to combat. Tap her. She gets 2 more counters. That's 4. Bang, drop a Silent Arbiter at instant speed. Oh, wow, that's cool. I can do that. Okay, nice. Or, oh, God, this card, oh, this is so good in this deck. Oh yeah. So, Teferi's Puzzle Box. During each player's draw phase, they count the cards in their hand, put those on the bottom, and then draw that number of cards. So if they have 6 cards in their hand, they put those on then they draw 6, and Nekusar goes 6 points of damage, bitch. And then they draw their card for the turn, and then they draw their second card for the turn because of Nekusar. So if they start with 6 cards in their hand, they would take 8 points of damage. It adds up fast, so that's a key card in the deck. Then I've got this guy from Foundations, Scrawling Crawler, 3 for a 3/2. Beginning of your upkeep, everybody draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. Nekusar deals damage. This guy makes people lose life. Sometimes that matters, so pay attention. Sunken Hollow, Signet, Counterspell, Nihil Spellbomb. Exile somebody's graveyard, and then if I've got 1 black hanging around, I can draw a card. Hibernation. This worked out so well in Brago. I first put this into Brago out in Austrasia. Oh, and it was blowout. It was fantastic. So I gave one to Nekusar because really, what's going to get him? Green-based, green-flavored combat decks, big creatures. That's what's going to get me. So if I can return all the green shit back to everybody's hand, especially if I have the puzzle box in play. So you're attacking me with all that, bang, put all your green stuff back in your hand, all your Planeswalkers, all your enchantments, all your everything. How many cards do you have in your hand now? About 15. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to your next upkeep with Puzzle Box and Nekusar in play. Command Beacon, so if his commander tax has gone way up, I can reset it once, put him back in my hand from the command zone. Watery Grave, Chromatic Lantern, Scroll Rack. So if I've got a lot of cards in my hand, at some point, a lot of them are going to be cards I don't really need. And that's another nice thing about the shuffle everything back in. Because Scroll Rack, so 2 to cast, 1 to use. You put, let's say these are the cards you put back. Those 4. You put those 4 back. So you'd probably do it like this. So you know that if, let's say you don't have the mana to, well, this is kind of a bad example. Let's try this. Let's put that and that and that. So let's say this. Let's say this is on top of your library. And you know it. And you're like, yeah. So if you rack again, you're only going to dig 1 deeper. Because you'll draw that swamp, and then these will still be on top, and then whatever is here. So that's why, you know, shuffle your library. In this case, I would put one of the fetch lands on top, so I can shuffle the library and reset it. So anyway, let's just put these lands down. There's Scroll Rack. Everybody knows that. Maybe some people don't know how it works, because how many unique cards are there in the game? Thousands. There are fucking thousands of unique cards. Not everybody can know them all. And anybody who watches my videos knows that I can't even remember them all. Sometimes I can't remember a card I saw 3 minutes ago. Ob Nixilis the Hate Twisted. 3 black, 5 loyalty, Nixilis. Whenever an opponent draws a card, he deals 1 damage to the player. Nick 2, destroy target creature, its controller draws 2 cards. He likes Nekusar. They're buddies. They go drinking together on the weekends. Do a little bit of fishing for souls. Whirlpool Warrior. When this hot mama comes into play for the low price of 2 and a blue, and she's a 2/2, shuffle the cards from your hand into your library, then draw them many cards. 1 red, sacrifice her. Everybody shuffles. It's Winds of Change. So for 1 red, you can Winds of Change at instant speed. So if your opponent draws a card and he starts giggling to himself, okay, you say, okay, before your draw step ends, we're going to shuffle our hands into our library and draw the mini cards. Maybe he'll get back the card that made him giggle, maybe not, but it could stop a problem. Oh look, another Undying Evil effect. What does this one do? Creates a Wicked Roll token, whatever the fuck that means. Disallow. 1 blue, can target spell, activate ability or triggered ability. Mana Rock. Reliquary Tower. I should be drawing a good number of cards in this deck. And the more cards in my hand, the more cards I will see from my puzzle box. So it behooves me to have some way of having an infinite hand size, in addition to Jin-Gitaxias. Dime Reversal. So this is basically Echo Vions for 1 mana less that exiles itself without flashback. Make sense? Phyrexian Metamorph. 3 and blue or 3 and 2 life. Copy any artifact or creature on the field of battle. Arcane Signet. I like this. I'd like to get a foil one. I forget if they don't have them in foil, or I just wasn't able to get one in foil. I forget. But I would like to see that in foil. I bet it would be gorgeous. Arcane Denial. Trigger Mage hates this. I'm probably going to say that every time I show this card, because I don't know who watches all of my videos and who hears everything I say. But Trinket Mage, another YouTuber, one with a hell of a lot more followers than I have. Quick, subscribe. Hit it. Subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. Just a few. Just do it. So, counter target spell. It's going to controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. You draw a card at the beginning. So in Nekusar, this actually works. I mean, it fits the theme. A counter spell, and then if they take the 2 cards, they take 2 damage. If I've got another, like, Scrawling Crawler in play, then they take 4 damage. And it only costs 1 blue. Steam Vents with a Pro Tour stamp. Yeah, I got that at a discount. Cabal Coffers. I need Urborg if I'm going to use Coffers in this deck. Do I have any way of finding lands, specific lands? I forget. Maybe I should put a Demonic Tutor in this deck. I've got 2 of them that I'm not doing anything with because I I prefer to just have the deck work. The only deck I have with a Demonic Tutor right now is Hirobi. And really, the Demonic Tutor is there to find Cabal Coffers or Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth to find one Lake of the Dead. That's why it's there. Yes, if I have those, I will use it to find something a bit more impactful. But it's really there to act as a Sylvan Scrying. That's why I have Demonic Tutor. To act as a Sylvan Scrying in a mono black deck. First, there's a warning. Okay, target creature gains indestructible until I need to replace that with one that just brings it back. Because even if he's indestructible, if there's a Toxic Deluge or an Exile... do I want to do that? Why did I leave this in here? Indestructible is not... does not help against Toxic Deluge or anything that gives neg. Okay, I'll keep it in there for a while. I don't want to think about it right now. Spellskite. 2, 1 blue or 2 life. Change a target of target spell or ability to Spellskite. No, you will not be killing Nekusar. You'll be killing this thing. Swift Boots. Put the boots on Nekusar, and he can't be targeted. Oh look, it's another Undying Evil effect. But this one's Undying Malice. This one is when the creature dies, turn the battlefield tapped with a +1/+1 counter. Okay, that's better. Another Mana Rock. See, I told you he's got a shitload of rocks. Exquisite Blood. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. It's Grixis. I mean, with the blue and the black, there's not a whole lot of ways to gain life. And with all the things I need to protect myself, there's less room for things that give me life. And if he's hurting people, then they're losing life and I'm gaining life. I mean, just if he's just there with Exquisite Blood. So this player over there, he'll take... wait. Okay. This player over there, he'll take 2 damage for drawing 2 cards. I'll gain 2 life. This guy, same thing. This guy over here, right next to me, pretend. So that would be 2, 4, 6. That would be 6 life and 6 damage a turn. Just that. It can go pretty quickly. Tishana's Tidebinder. 2 in the blue. Flashy Merfolk Wizard, 3/2. So when she comes in the battlefield, I can counter up to 1 target artifact, activated or triggered ability. And if an ability of a permanent, well, non-land permanent, is done this way, then it can't be activated or triggered again, as long as she's in play. So she's pretty cool. Tezzeret the Seeker, 3 blue. +1, untap some mana rocks. Neg X. Go find Teferi's puzzle box and watch everybody cry. This Neg 5, yeah, I'm not going to do that with Nekusar. No point. Blood Chief Ascension. Beginning of each end step, an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn. You may put a quest counter on Blood Chief Ascension. So, just this in Nekusar alone, as it goes around. So, the guy over there, he loses 2 life because he draws 2 cards. This gets a quest counter. The next guy, he loses 2 life because he draws 2 cards. Gets a quest counter. So by the time it comes back to me, it will have 3 quest counters on it. So it'll go quick. It'll go fast. Threaten Dynamo. Maybe that Glittering Stockpile would be better than the Threaten Dynamo. This is here. I have things like this here to help me pay for that Alabar's Carpet because it's proved its worth. Except it's 5 mana a turn. You know what I should put in here? I should put in. Do I have an Unwinding Clock in Nekusar? I should get him an Unwinding Clock to tap all the artifacts. Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah. Okay. That's what I should do. Get him an Unwinding Clock. Crystal Shard. 3 to cast, 3 to use, or 1 blue to use, depending on your mana situation. Bounce strike a creature back to its owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. Okay, you're going to kill Nekusar. I'll pay blue and not pay the extra 1 and bounce his ass back to my hand. So I can pay 5 and cast him again. Is it Chronarch? Archaeomancer is 1 mana less, and she's the same. She's 2 colorless, blue for a 2/2 creature, a 2/2 human wizard, that when she comes into play, you return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. But I have him, and I like the art, and in foil, it's really pretty. So even though he costs 1 more, I'm using him instead of Archaeomancer. So it's a nod to not making the deck completely efficient in order to have fun with it. Soul Talisman. There's a way to get this down for free. Oh yeah, Tezzeret the Seeker. So Tezzeret, I can say 0, go find an artifact with 0. Is it converted mana cost or is it mana value? I better be careful about that because it can bite me in the ass. Artifact card with CMC X or less. Okay, it's converted. It doesn't have a converted. I forget how this works right now. There's some fine details, but I'm pretty sure it works. So its mana value is nothing. It has a 0 mana value. And how does Jorah say? Does she say mana value? Let's read her again right quick. Where is she? There she is. Mana value. X or less. Okay. So I've got a couple ways of playing this a bit faster. Or I can just fucking suspend it. I mean, it should be fine. Psychosis Crawler. 5. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in my hand. Whenever I draw a card, each opponent loses life. Something I used to think. I used to think I trigger Memory Jar. Set your hand aside face down. You know, exile your hand face down. And then he would die because I have no hand. And then somebody who understands the rules better than I do said, no, until everything resolves, you don't look at his effect. He only looks at it if the spell is resolving, if the spell is in motion. Don't worry about it. Okay, cool. So, because otherwise, all these spells, shuffle your hand, graveyard, and library together and draw 70 cards, he would be dying a lot. But he doesn't. Whenever I draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. So that's a key difference. And I have a tendency to forget things like that. I will think it's when my opponents draw a card. No, it's when I do. When I do, he hurts somebody. No mercy. Whenever a creature deals damage to you, kill it. So yeah, I'll let a couple of those creatures through if I don't have Silent Arbiter, and they will die. Dack Fading. I actually have the... So I checked Tourney Ortiz, checked my LGS. They have a Conspiracy Foil Dack Fading, and I ordered it. I've been wanting one for a while. So I just ordered it, and now I have to figure out what I'm going to trade them for it. Because this, I like the art okay. The background is just weird. It looks more like a Mercadia to me. But the foil process, this layer of plastic foil that they've got, I just don't like it. I'm just tired of it. So this will get replaced with a Conspiracy Foil. Shuan Reef. Damnation. Destroy creatures that can't be regenerated. Okay, so this is probably why I still kept Professor's Warning, because I can give him indestructible in response to my own damnation, and he won't die. Mountain, Blissed Mire, Sulphur Spring. Hey, I do have a foil island. Nice. Feign Death. Okay, same thing. When the creature dies, it comes back with a +1/+1 encounter. Mountain. Basilisk Collar. He deals damage. This gives Death Touch and Lifelink. Yeah, it's not really the best use of him because I can't deal damage to creatures. I can't ping creatures with him, unlike, say, Karavek. But it'll get me life. Let's think about something else. Soul Ring. Darksteel Plate. Darksteel Plate is indestructible. Nekusar is indestructible if he's equipped. Evgeny's Expertise. 2 black. I took this out of Kenrith because I realized Kenrith really didn't need this specifically. So this 2 black. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. And then I may cast a card with current mana cost 3 or less from my graveyard to my hand. I may cast a card with CMC 3 or less for free. So, another way of getting down a Mana Rock. Another way of getting down Scrabbly Crawler. Then I've got this guy. Niv-Mizzet Visionary. So there's a few of these different Niv-Mizzets, and this is the best one for this deck. The reason is the mana requirement. And that he's a 5/5, not a 4/4. So 4 blue-red. For a 5/5, not a 4/4 Niv-Mizzet, he still flies. I have no maximum hand size. Whenever a source I control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, I may draw that many cards. So if these two dudes are chilling out together, every time Nekusar, my opponent draws 2 cards. He says, that's non-combat damage. Go ahead and draw cards with him. So it becomes kind of like a Consecrated Sphinx. But it doesn't really work. What else do I have that works well with the Basilisk Collar? Do I have any pingers? I didn't see any pingers. I mainly have that to give to one of my, like him. So whenever my opponents are taking damage, I'm gaining life because people keep attacking me, and there's not I don't have a lot of ways to defend myself in this deck. I've got a lot of ways to fuck with the people. But as far as blocking, yeah, unless I have got some tricks on board or tricks in my hand, I'm not doing a whole lot of blocking, and I'm getting hurt real bad. I don't have any pingers. No Goblin Sharpshooter. he is pretty good with Dim Visit too. So doesn't really matter. Draw 7 cards. He's better with Psychosis Crawler. I can picture myself taking him out at some point. Anyway, that is Nekusar. That is my review of Nekusar the Mindraiser. So I just did the review of Nekusar the Mindraiser. How about a sample hand? Let's see what a sample hand looks like. So I just shuffled. Here's 7 cards. Oh, that's not good. Land. I've got enough land. I've got Evacuation. I've got Crystal Shard. I don't have any Mana Rocks. Set those to the side because we still do the old partial parry. Draw 2 cards. These get shuffled back in. And then I will draw for my turn and see how it goes. But it kind of sucks that I don't have any Mana Rocks. In that respect, Nekusar is a bit like Karavek, where I need to play them to get going. Okay, so anyway, I play an island, pass, draw, ooh, Blood Crypt. I will play, let's see, I need red. I'll play a mountain, tap those, get Jera into play, pass, draw. Hey, Arcane Signet, okay. So now she's ready, so I can play the Signet for free. She has 2 counters on her now. I can play that Swamp, tap those, play the Crystal Shard, and now if I need to save her, I can bounce her back with the Crystal Shard. Of course, it would take the counters off. Let's say she doesn't die. Let's say I get rid of the, this glare. You can see that's where the glare is. I better not put anything there. What else? Okay, I've got Arcane Denial. So I've got all my colors. Drowned Catacomb. I now have 5 mana. I can cast Nekusar. The thing is, he might get. Can't see him. See him. Fucking. God damn it. There, now you can see him. So, if I do that, and somebody goes to kill him, I can't save him. So if I keep the Arcane Signet up with the Crystal Shard, I can save him. So let's say everybody takes a turn, take another turn. Okay, that's not really helping right now, but it's not bad. So what I would do now is go ahead and play an island, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Nekusar is in play. And if somebody tries to kill him, I've got the Arcane Signet and the Crystal Shard ready to go. Let's say they don't. Let's say there are bigger threats on the field. So draw. Okay, so what I would do is, if somebody, so this is now turn 6 because I can play another land. So let's play the Academy of Ruins. So this is turn 6. Somebody has some good creatures on the board. Probably more than a few good creatures. So I can evacuate, return all creatures to their owner's hands, and in response to Fury's Puzzle Box at the end of somebody's turn. So I wouldn't do anything this turn. And then if it comes back to me, and it's going to be my turn, evacuation, in response, drop the puzzle box, Nekusar and Jura come back to my hand, and then I start my turn. Except this would go on the bottom of my library. I should have thought that through. Anyway, he would go back to the command zone. I'm glad I'm doing this on camera. I mean, it sounds like a mistake, but at least I'm thinking it through. I'm seeing how it works in practice, because there might be times that's exactly what I would want to do. So I draw 3 from the puzzle box. Ooh. Okay. And then I draw for my turn. So it'd be really nice to have Jarvan now, because then I could cast that crawler for free. So that's something I have to think about. I have to think about all the ramifications. So anyway, how much mana do I have? 3, 7, 8. I've got 8. That's 9. I can't do that. But if I tap out, I could play Nekusar and the Scrolling Crawler, but I don't think I want to do that. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because he's in the command zone, it costs an additional 2, put Nekusar back in play. And then everybody takes a turn, and they start getting hit with the puzzle box, hit with Nekusar. So my turn, I draw 2 cards. Hey, memory lapse. Wheel of Fortune. And this is fine, because I can flash this back. So how do I want to do this? So I would 1, 2, 3, Scrolling Crawler. Somebody's probably going to try to kill it. So I will memory lapse it. And then let me pretend I actually was paying attention. Instead of talking, I was paying attention to the mana situation. So 3 for the crawler, 2 for that, 3. I didn't play land this turn, so play land. Wheel of Fortune. All players throw away their hand and draw 70 cards, and that Echo Vians has flashback. So with these in play, all my opponents are each going to take 14 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my opponents all take 14 points of damage. I get the time spiral. I don't have any mana untapped. I should have left 1 black open, but I didn't. I'm just getting all excited. So I'll suspend the Soul Talisman. And then I've got all these lands. So I start my turn. Let's say Nekusar and Scrolling Crawler have not been killed. So I count the number of cards in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 go on the bottom. I draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then actually it would be 1 more would go on the bottom, because I would draw 1, because this is upkeep, draw. So I just put the damnation on the bottom. And then I would have another card to replace it. And then I would draw an additional card for Nekusar. And then I can go to town. We can go to Pound Town. Okay, so play Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth. And now the question would be, what benefits me the most? The Silent Arbiter or the Alabar's Carpet? It depends on the board state. It depends what's going on right now. The Arbiter, I can play for less, and then still have mana up for Urtai Resurrected, and I can get down the Signet. So I've got 4. I've got 10 mana. So that would be 4. That would be 2. That would be 6. That would leave me 4 for him if I need some sort of counterspell or Narcissus Reversal. So anyway, that's how Nekusar works. That's the idea, and he was working really well right there. If he worked this well in an actual game, I would be quite happy. I would be pleased. What's funny is last time that he was played, Yuji had come, new Yuji, and he kind of, he's a good player, but he's very aggressive. He's very much one of these younger, newer players. Is very aggressive. He doesn't have the history of the game that the other lads and I do. But he didn't fully appreciate how he should play Nekusar. So he just cast, it was either Time Spiral or Time, he just did it to draw more cards. And what are you doing? You do it when Nekusar's on the field, so you hurt us. That's the whole point. He's like, oh, okay. I just needed the cards. Well, I understand that, but try to plan it better.